Here we are at the Chicago Comedy Film Festival at the New 400 here in Rogers Park, and we got some great guests joining us. Their film is about to make their Chicago premiere. It is entitled The Week. We have John, and Rick. We got producers, director, and actor all joining us. Welcome to the Chicago Comedy Film Festival.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yes, sir. So happy.
And just so everybody knows who you are, just say who you are and what you did on the film.
John Mann, producer, co-director, writer, editor, sound, lots of other stuff.
Yep. Co-director, co-writer, producer.
Co-writer, co-producer, and as actor. Yeah. I was going to say star, but that feels so pretentious. So horrible. I'm the guy in the poster, man.
In his underwear.
In my underwear, with my dog.
Now, the premise of the film is that the man's wife leaves him right before they're about to make a trip in wine country. And if you're going to make a movie, you might as well do it in wine country. Was that fun to shoot out that way?
Oh heck yeah, man! We it's a beautiful part of the world. Wherever you point the camera, there's nothing but beauty around you. And then the glorious thing about wine country is they make wine. I don't know if you've ever.
I've been, and I partake.
Yeah, you partake. You can drink the wine.
Great.
Yeah.
Everything feels great.
And you can drink a lot of it, and then you can feel really great. And then you drink too much of it, it goes the other way. So we got right to the limit of the perfect amount of wine, I think.
And when you guys are directing people who are drinking that amount of wine, does it get difficult as the shoot goes on throughout the day?
We were drinking too, so we were always on the same page.
Yeah.
Now I understand there's also a dog in this movie.
Yeah.
Have you acted alongside a dog before? Were there challenges there?
Never like that. And the dog was also drinking wine. So there was a lot of issues with like dog drunkenness and the ASPCA. No, I've never shot with a dog like that. And thank God it's actually my dog.
Well, that's
So
nice.
then it's a little bit easier because then I could beat the dog. And she was used. No, I never beat the dog. It's a horrible thing to say. She's the best dog in the world.
She's a pit bull. You
don't want to beat. You can't beat a pit bull. They bite you. They'll rip your arm off. Yeah, it had its challenges for sure. But it also was pretty easy at the same time.
Yeah, she's not a trained dog, but she loves Rick. And
Well, she's trained in that she doesn't poop on the
right.
scene.
She's not a movie dog. She's a
Right.
well-trained domestic dog.
She
and
can't save someone from a fire. Are you insulting the dog? I'm not sure that we're in the right
She
space.
could save someone from a fire, I think. Yeah,
But-
she's better than any trained movie dog I've ever seen. Without
Okay.
the formal, I mean, training like acting training in a
Right.
New York, like.
Like an actual, like Meisner, like a
Yeah,
Meisner
she's not
dog.
Meisner trained.
She's not a Meisner dog. But I don't think that she's from the streets, man.
She is from
and
the
there's
streets.
a
She's
lot
got-
of lot of dogs that came from the
Yeah,
streets.
she's-
Lassie, Benji,
She's like Sylvester Stallone that way.
Bud,
like she
Air
just
Bud, Air Bud. Like all those dogs are street dogs.
Glad you asked.
Huh?
Are you glad you asked?
Yeah, I am. And now, besides Rick, you also have a talented cast. Who else is in the film?
Joelle Carter, MC Gainey, James Matteo,
Reno Wilson,
Richard Speight Jr.
Amanda Detmer.
Yeah.
Who else we got? If we lost
Frank
it,
John
Joshua
Hughes.
Gomez. Oh,
Josh
Jesus,
Gomez, his
that
brother.
would've been a horrible thing. Yeah, that would have been a big mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And lots of other
Yeah,
lovely
yeah.
talent.
And when you're making a smaller movie like this, where obviously funds are tough to come by, especially when you're making independent films, how long did it take to when the idea came to the time you finally finished the film?
Wow. Well, we kind of did it a little out of order. We actually wanted to make a movie, but we didn't want to ask anyone's permission. We didn't want to take the time to write a script. We didn't want to wait for a green light. So we just each put a little bit of money in the bank, and we just started shooting. We started shooting without a script and just a really basic idea of where the story would go. But to answer the question you asked, it was about, 3 years from package to
I
plate?
think it was probably a little over 2 years to finish it, and then we've been shopping, taking it around a little bit. But yeah, it took us a little over a year just to shoot it because we were doing it in pieces. We take a few months off and shoot for like 3 days, and then take a month off and shoot for 3 or 4 days. We wrote it in pieces, shot it in pieces, and then the editing process involved more shooting. So the whole thing sort of bled together. The writing, the shooting, the cutting, the finishing was all happening sort of overlapping with itself. But it took a little over 2 years, I think.
And when you're acting in a movie that's doing it in little increments such as that, is that difficult or okay?
Well, it's got its own little challenges for kind of having different hair or gaining 15 pounds, which was probably more closer to what happened to me. It does. But, we were in cahoots about where the story wanted to go and what we wanted to do, so it always was like coming back home. So it may have been like 2 months off before since the last thing that we shot, but ultimately it felt like we were kind of coming right back into the same playground that we'd built, and it was just so much fun to make the movie, and we had so much fun doing it, and we kept each other on track, and it was really just a blast.
I think in that way it was sort of like how it might feel being on a TV series, where you'd come back to it, but it was familiar. So it was for all of us. We sort of knew how to step back in and play around in that world.
Yeah. Now you guys are from California, but you're here in Chicago for the Chicago Comedy Film Festival. You guys enjoying the city?
Are you kidding me, dude? Let me tell you something. Last night, this guy's like, I want some deep dish pan pizza. Right? Is that the right thing to say?
Yeah,
deep
that's
dish
fine.
pan pizza.
Sure.
And I go, really? All right, we'll go get it. And then we had it, and I was gonna kill somebody for another one. And not as a threat.
And you don't have to. All you have to do is pay like $15.
But I just felt like it wouldn't honor how good the pizza was unless I shivved somebody and then stole the pizza from another table. We had the best food. I spent the whole day with my wife, who's also a producer, and that was weird. Claire. My wife, who's also produced the film, running around the city all day, and we just had the greatest time. The city's unbelievable, and I actually would love to move here. So if there's anybody who needs a roommate, we're looking to have a spot. So take us on.
Awesome. So what's next for the film? Are you going out to more festivals?
This is kind of we're at the sort of the tail run of our run right now, so we are actually actively seeking distribution, and have our fingers crossed on that.
Awesome. Well, best of luck. Thanks for stopping by, and can't wait to see the movie.
Yeah.